GMK Goji will be standing at slightly over 6 inches tall, while King Ghidorah will be standing slightly over 5 inches tall thanks to the horns on his head.
Let's take a look at King Ghidorah's tag. Isn't that inspirational? King Ghidorah coming out from his little ice cave to a nice lens flare. Did J.J. Abrams shoot this? But anyway, that's King Ghidorah. That says King Ghidorah 2001, Godzilla 2024, and Godzilla. On the back of the tag, we will be treated to Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all-out attack pleasantries. Side of the tag will be shaped out to that of King Ghidorah's wing. And here's the inside of the tag with a silhouette of King Ghidorah that looks like he only has one head. Fire. My head busts open, sound like the tiger, thrashing in the water, thrashing in the water. Over and over we die, one after the other. And now, in terms of our favorite malevolent creation, GMK Goji over here is going to be sporting a lovely image for his tag, Godzilla, Godzilla 2024, Godzilla 2001, Godzilla 2001. Back of the tag will feature the same pleasantries we've already seen, except this time it's red. Side of the tag will be shaped out to Godzilla GMK's coral reef. And here we have the inside of the tag. Bro's brow's so prominent it looks like he's got another eyeball crawling out of his forehead. Just a new piece of meat in a clean room. Now before I get this review started, I just wanted to give a loving little shout out to that of Beast of the East Collectibles. Beast of the East Collectibles is your one-stop shop for Japanese toys and pop culture collectibles. And man, when I tell you that they actually have a lovely selection of movie monster series figures that isn't just the same 6 ones over and over again, they do. And it's not just movie monster series, we've got SH Monster Arts, we've got SH Figure Arts, we've got Ultraman, we've got Gamera! I love it, I love it, I love it. And for you first-time users, like myself, you get 5% off your first order with the help of this here coupon code. First Order 1. And on top of that, if you haven't already, if you subscribe to their newsletter, you get 5% off again. And believe me, with the burgeoning holiday season slowly creeping upon our brains, you're gonna want to subscribe to a newsletter that tells you when this site has sales. And this isn't just a holiday exclusive type thing. If you splurge on this website, if you just so happen to have just gotten paid, you don't gotta worry about bills or nothing, and you find like, let's say 5 or 6 figures and the order just stacks up, you spend $125 or more, you get free shipping. So head east to the beast, let them know ShinRobjira sent you, and cop some Godzilla GMK movie monster series figures. Or more! Now let's get this review started. Godzilla over here, believe it or not, is going to be sporting a new mold. Yes, I know it looks like the original one, but there are some clear defining features we will discuss in a bit. Godzilla's got those legendary pale white eyes, quite the angry stare from the front. I absolutely love it. The emotion is fully captured here. Now let's take a look at Godzilla's teeth. The first inclination that this is brand spanking new. So as you can see, Godzilla's got quite a lot of teeth, but in between some teeth, especially up here on the top row, are going to be new additions, and no, they're not just painted on. They are sculpted in. Don't doubt me. Such things will be present on both sides. Teeth can be a bit on the fucky-wucky side over here. But hey yo, from the front, everything is ship-shape. On the inside of the mouth, we're gonna get a nice plump purple tongue. There you go. Now you can see it. Nothing else on the inside of the mouth will be painted. But there will be some slight detailings to see. The Goji toes over here are going to be this nice pale white with a bit of yellowing on them. Yes, of course, on both sides, with some lovely details surrounding them and on them. No pink this time. Same will be seen with the Goji claws going on here. Some of them even being painted on the underside too, which is a rare occurrence. And the detailings for the claws, the fingers, the knuckles, the hands, it's just lovely. We'll be getting such charismatic offerings on both sides, and I love it. And now before we move on any further, yes, this figure will be painted all the way to the tip of the tail. The intensity in 10 cities will stop right about here though on the tail, but still, it's a fully painted tail. We don't get that very often. Moving into the superior fins, plates, chutes, whatever, we're going to see a lot of white paint, and we're going to see a lot of details on them. Looking like Godzilla's got some warts on his dorsal reeves over here. But it is a nice and lovely effect, and this does get that nice powdered milk look to them. Very bony looking, very under the sea like. And it's really nice to actually see these things with quite a bit of white paint on them and not just the tips. I believe when we first saw this figure, the dorsal fins weren't fully painted and it looked a little lackluster, but now, oofa. Granted, it's not all perfect. Speaking of which, this guy over here looks like he's got dried milk on him. Just look at that. But I'm not going cowabunga supreme on this because overall, from a side view, from a top view, from a view overall, these dorsal fins look rather nice. Bottom of the tail's detail, side of the tail's detail, bodily details looking very, very nice on this gent. We've got some wrinkles and rolls. We've got the beer tummy, and we've got the pecs and thick veiny neck. I believe this new version of Godzilla GMK is an absolute home run right out of the park, from the tip of his painted tail to the very top of his angry brows. 2 solid stars in terms of paint and detail. Now, King Ghidorah is gold, a bit of silver, and very wide and very long. And this is the reason why I spent over $100 on shipping. And I don't mean to spoil, but these wings can't be swiveled, which means they're going to take up a lot of room on the shelf, and which also means they can't really make this a nice and compact little friggin' release to put in a box. I hope you all appreciate the suffering I do for you all. And yeah, there's not going to be any movement at the tail. So King Ghidorah is going to be a very loving and stark gold. Not too much going on over here on the membranes of the wings. The ends of the wings aren't going to have much going on with them as well. It's more so once we get to the top of them and we see those King Ghidorah feathery scales. That's gonna move in right into the chicken breast section, and it's gonna be there on the opposing side as well. Both sides, wouldn't you know? I mean, look at how wide that is. Let's try out the wide angle lens. Jeez, that's not that bad. Don't worry, we're gonna get into King Ghidorah's faces very, very soon. I just wanted to showcase all of this back here because I think the grand thing about King Ghidorah, comedic reference, is just that he's gold and rather samey. I don't really need to go into critical amounts of detail discussing King Ghidorah's tails or his wings or his back or anything like that. The 2 clubbed ends of the tails look really, really nice from either side of which you choose to view. Heck, even the bottom. Not a lot of variation going on, but you know what? It's Ghidorah. So that's gonna cover the back. My god, this friggin' tail. So yeah, his tail's gonna be about 7 inches long. What a lucky bastard. Now let's take a fine look at King Ghidorah's legs. They are gold, but they are also going to have metallic silver nails on them. As far as King Ghidorah's skin goes, this is about the only area we're going to see any major variation in detailing. And oh boy, wouldn't you know it, they painted the dew claws. I mean, I sure hope so, because the majority of this guy is just gold. He doesn't need too much. Again, detailing on point. Love the silver toenail paint. Oh lord, he's thick. I really do love the detailing on the side of the feet over here, though. I'm easily pleased. What can I say? It looks cool. And on the bottom of the feet, we are going to get trademark and Toho Company Limited. No year, Bandai China, numbers, numbers, numbers. Same for Karish Strika over here. No year. Usually when a year is present, that means it's just a reissue of an older mold. And I am trying to communicate that these are neither. They are not sized down molds. They are brand new. I'll show my work for at least Godzilla. With Ghidorah, it's a bit more obvious. But first, let's take a look at King Ghidorah's faces, which, yes, admittedly, are a bit goofy. Lefty and righty over here looking like they've seen boobies for the first time. Meanwhile, Chet in the center over here, he's doing his thing. He's not a guest. So despite what many may think, believe, and see, I believe these King Ghidorah heads are actually very well done. This darker shade of amberish gold on the side of their heads, all of their heads, really nice. It just adds another layer of appreciation. The eyes, I think, look really, really nice. It's just, I think there's too much white to the eyes. It's just, this isn't a healthy pancake breakfast. I want eggs, not just egg whites. Am I saying that all they had to really do was just make the rest of the eyes gold, save for the pupils and irises? Sure. But in hindsight, I genuinely don't think they look all that bad. Homeboy over here is a bit off center though. He looks okay. Seems the same thing going on with righty is going on over here with lefty. But anyway, yes, just to showcase, they all have that darker shade of gold on the sides of their heads. They're all going to have silver teeth in their mouths, and the insides of their mouths are going to have that same fleshy color that the 91 Ghidorah had. Except him, of course, because his mouth isn't open. In fact, when looking at the eyes, I think they could have gotten away with making the entirety of King Ghidorah's eyes red. Did they have whites in the movie? Did the suit have whites in the eyes? Let's see. Did they?
There they are or aren't. Yes, ha, oh. I don't believe the original figure had eye whites like this guy does, but whether it did or didn't, I still think this looks pretty cool. And really not as goofy from the front as I thought it was, nor from the side. It's just from the side with the whites of those eyes, they look a little surprised is all. And you know, given King Ghidorah's origin in Godzilla GMK, I think I'd be looking a little surprised too. I get woken up some 100,000 whatever years before I'm supposed to get woken up, and suddenly I have this behemoth, this anger golem, this beer gut touting, pupilless waddle god coming at me like I did something to him.
Oh Lord, he coming!
The last thing to discuss with King Ghidorah over here is going to be the bananas on his head and the horns up top. I like that the golden bananas from Donkey Kong 64 actually start off gold and then mold into a silver, and I actually don't care if that's accurate or not because it just looks cool. Oh yeah. And essentially the horns on top of King Ghidorah's heads are going to be doing the exact same thing. And again, it just looks cool, and the detailing on these heads is sublime, all the way up to their surprised looking faces and nostrils. I think GMK King Ghidorah, especially for that of a wide release, is actually really damn good. So good, in fact, I am going to award him 2 solid stars in terms of paint and detail. You might not like the eyes, but at the end of the day, seeing some of the things we've seen in the movie monster series and its now 10 years of revitalization, this could have gone a lot worse.
3 solid X's.
Shokugan, Golden Age movie, exclusive Golden Age movie, HG, Finger Puppet, Bandai America again, CCP, NECA, Funko. Wasn't that fun? Articulation. Like nearly every King Ghidorah in the movie monster series in these past 10 years, we are not going to get any movement at the heads, and no, not the necks. These are positively glue sealed, and I'm not going to be pushing them any further than I am now. And as discussed earlier, these wings will not swivel. No, not on either side. Neither will this ridiculous tail, which kind of bums me out because if it swivels, that means it's removable. And this is a tail I'd definitely like to remove to save myself at least a little bit more shelf space. I don't know how wide this friggin' thing is. I can practically wear him like a mask, brother. Yes. Yes, the only form of articulation on GMK Ghidorah is going to be at the legs. Do be careful though, don't want to scrape off any of that lovely silver paint. I'm just gonna give articulation a half star until Bandai just decide to start making King Ghidorah's head swivelable again. Please. I don't need it, but it would look cool. And now for Godzilla. And as you can see, nothing at the neck. That's even more proof that this isn't a size down mold. Because that's not glue sealed, there's just no seam there. Head to base of tail is one solid piece. But I digress. Swivel at the arms, swivel at the legs, nothing at the tail. This is standard movie monster series fare. I am a bit bummed that the head doesn't swivel, but at least there isn't a seam there fooling us into thinking that it would. Solid star in terms of articulation. Now for the grand finale. I must show my work. First little bit of showing is going to be towards the hips. I feel like Godzilla's got a bit of a longer torso with the newer version. The hips don't feel closer to his elbows like they did on the 8-inch version. And plus, that beer gut feels a little bit more present than it did on the 8-inch version. Although, from the side, the 8-inch version definitely has a bit more of a gut, but with the new version, again, it feels a bit more on the present side, as do those lazy boy man tits. A major detailing upgrade definitely went through with the thighs and legs over here. As you can see, new GMK's kneecaps, they're all, popcornish and everything. While they are present over here, the detailing is definitely more HD 4K on the new version versus the older version. Same when it comes to the thighs. I mean, between the two, the new version definitely feels a lot more obvious and less smoothie. Don't worry, I'm getting to the good stuff in a sec. Moving up a bit higher, you can see that just the overall quality of the detail on the body overall is vastly improved upon. And if you want to get even more technical, the arms are different because look at those fingers. They're less curled in on the new version than they are in the original. Now, the dorsal fins are all part of a separate piece of the figure, but the new detailing on all of the dorsal fins, moving from the tail to the back, all the way up to the neck, again, we're gonna get that bumpy looking detail, where on the original, it's more crater-like than it is bumpy. Granted, both are very, very obvious from a side view, even from far away, but they differ so much, and just look at the new version's body. He's definitely more thicker in the gutty. The tails are going to be angled completely differently. This one's just down, up, down. Meanwhile, this one is just down, up, further down. Is any of this sinking in? It's new! But I don't think you'll find a more telling place of just newness than right up here at the noggin. First off with the teeth. If this was a full-on reissue, the teeth would look exactly the same. There'd be the same number of teeth. On the new version, there is more teeth. Plus, he's got more of a curve to his little teeth track over here on the new version than he does on the original. From the front, both figures are very, very similar, but they do differ ever so slightly. Be it the nose or the curve of the brow, the intensity is a tiny bit different. Plus, we've got some new bumpier detailings near his nose on this guy, whereas here, it's a bit more crumbled up tinfoily looking. This, I believe, is a beautiful example of Bandai taking what is still a beautiful piece of history and updating it, making it a lot more screen accurate at that point. It's a good time to be a GMK fan. Now let's just hope they do Baragon and Muth. Now the final part of this video isn't going to be a comparison, so to speak. It's more so going to be a, hey, you can take this one off the shelf and put it somewhere else now. Rescind thing. Zero competition. Yeah. For any of you ShinRobjira old heads that were around when I originally did a review of the Bandai America King Ghidorah 2001, yes, that's what it is, you would know I really didn't like this guy all too much. And still, to this day, I don't. But at least now I can honestly say that this guy does something that this guy doesn't that I enjoy more, that being all red eyes. Short, sweet, and to the point, I know, but I just had to do it to him. Just had to do it to him. Anyway, I have been ShinRobjira. Do so hope you all enjoyed this review. Long time coming and highly anticipated releases for the movie Monster series, and I'm glad they're here. Seriously, Bandai, Toho, I would love it if you did Mothra and Baragon. Very much deserved. I love that design of Mothra. It's actually my favorite Mothra design of all time. I don't care if she looks like a freaking hornet, it's awesome. Well, that's that from me, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. See you all next time, where, judging by this email I just received, $92. Wow. I will be talking about the Wave 2 30th Anniversary Street Sharks figures. I can't wait. See you then. Peace. Holy shit.